So today I'll be making mee goreng mamak. Now mee goreng mamak is actually fried noodles in rich sauce and lots of condiments. But this version comes from Penang, my mother's hometown. So there's normal fried noodles and there's mee goreng mamak. Mee goreng mamak consists of all sorts of condiments like fritters. And we'll be making this fritters, which is super easy, but if you don't feel like making it, you don't have to. And if you've got leftover prawn fritters, feel free to just chuck them in your mee goreng mamak. We're gonna start making the fritters by slicing one onion. So I'm only making a basic fritters, which consists only onion, but you can add whatever ingredients you like. You can add bean sprout, chilies, scallions, leek, whatever you like, really. So in my mixing bowl, I'm gonna add some rice flour, some all-purpose flour, an egg, a little bit of ground turmeric. This will give a nice color and flavor to our fritters. A little bit of chicken stock. You can use prawn stock. You can use water if you like. That's fine too. Chicken stock is just to give that extra umami flavor. And of course, some salt. Now I'm gonna give this a good mix. So I've heated my oil and I'm using vegetable oil. You can use any oil with high smoke point. Add in my sliced onions. You can even use protein like prawns, fish. It's completely up to you. It's gonna take about 2 to 3 minutes to fry it until you get a nice golden brown fritters. So now I'm just gonna slice my fritters and prepare the rest of the ingredients for my noodles. So now I'm going to start by blending my ingredients. 1 onion and 6 cloves of garlic. And here I've got 2 ingredients that I really love. And I'm using them because I want to add that extra umami flavor to my mee goreng mamak. I'm using dried scallops and dried shrimps that's been rehydrated in hot water. And I've set aside the water so I can use it to blend my ingredients. If you're allergic to seafood, you don't have to use any of this. You can just add a little bit of the vegan oyster sauce in your paste later. But if you're not allergic to seafood, I highly suggest that you use these because it's gonna add such an amazing flavor to your mee goreng. So we're gonna blend it until we get a nice fine paste. Okay, so now I'm gonna slice the rest of my ingredients. I've got 2 green chilies and 1 bird's eye chili here. If you don't like it too spicy, you don't have to use bird's eye chili. But the green chilies will add a nice peppery taste to our mee goreng mamak. I've got some deep fried tofu and I'm using firm tofu that I've sliced and deep fried. So I'm gonna slice it thinly now. So the reason I deep fried my tofu is so that it wouldn't break when I stir fry my noodles. Set this one aside, and I've got some cherry tomatoes as well. You can use regular tomatoes. So the tomatoes will add a nice sweet umami taste to your mee goreng mamak. So we're gonna slice the chicken into 1/2 inch in thickness. You can also use other types of proteins like squid or scallop, even beef. Just gonna set this aside. All right, so now we're ready to cook. Just gonna heat my wok and add a little bit of vegetable oil. Now when you're sauteing your spices, you're gonna need a good amount of oil to cook it properly. Now, if you undercook your spices, like your chili paste, it's gonna leave you with a bitter aftertaste, and that's not gonna be very pleasant. Now, I'm gonna start by sauteing my proteins first. I've got my chicken and my prawns, which I've shelled and deveined. Now, if you're gonna shell your prawns yourself, you can keep the shell and fry it first in your oil. That's gonna add a nice sweet taste to your oil. My oil is hot. I'm gonna add in my chicken. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt to my chicken and my prawns. So I don't wanna overcook them. I just wanna lightly brown them and save them for later. Beautiful. And I'm gonna start by sauteing my chili paste. And one of the easiest ways to know that your chili paste is done is when you see it turning into tiny little clumps, like right now. Now that's done, I'm gonna add in the spices, the shrimp, and the scallop that I blended earlier. Give this a good mix and saute it until it dries up a little bit. Okay, so now my spices are done. It's nice and fragrant, and you can see the oil is coming out of the spice paste, and that's what you want. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of chicken stock. This is just to add a little bit of moisture to your noodles. Now I'm gonna add the rest of my ingredients, the bird's eye chili, the green chilies, the cherry tomatoes, the tofu, and I've got some sweet soy sauce, regular soy sauce. I'm gonna reserve about a tablespoon to add to my eggs. Give it a good mix. If you're not using the dried shrimp and the dried scallop, you can add a little bit of vegetarian or vegan oyster sauce right now. So I'm gonna add in my noodles. So I've got, this is fresh yellow noodles. If you can't find this noodle, you can use any type of noodles you like. You can even use dried ones. You just need to rehydrate it with some hot water. Just gonna add them all in. If it looks a little bit dry, you can add more water. By adding more water, it's going to allow the noodles to soak up all the delicious flavors. I'm gonna add in my fritters as well. I'm not gonna use all of them, just about half. And I'll keep the other half for me to have later on its own. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. I want the noodles to change color slightly because right now you can still see they're still quite yellow. So I want it to soak up all the delicious spices and for it to become slightly brown. So I'm just gonna keep stirring it for the next 4 to 5 minutes. My noodles are looking amazing. They're soft and it's absorbing all the delicious flavors. I'm just gonna add a little bit of sugar just to balance out the taste. Give it a good mix. And now my favorite part, the eggs. So I'm gonna push my noodles to the side, break your egg inside. I'm using free-range eggs and I'm using 4. So I'm doing 2 on this side first. I'm gonna add my leftover soy sauce, give it a good mix, and bury it with the noodles. Push the noodles on top, make some space on the other side, and do the same. Add a little bit more soy sauce and bury it. Ooh, I dropped some. I did. I'm just gonna leave it for about a minute, let the eggs cook slightly, and give it a good mix. Now I'm gonna add in the chicken and the prawns that I fried earlier. Turn off the heat and just mix it lightly. Okay, so it's done now. I'm gonna give it a quick taste. Oh, it smells so good. This is comfort food. It's so amazing, so flavorful.